Okay.
Another one, man. Bitcoin Radio. Thank you guys for watching the Bitcoin Radio Show. Alex Solis, Augi Schmitz, here to talk again about Bitcoin and the markets and some politics and entertainment, whatever else is interesting to you guys. So here we go. So Bitcoin currently crashed hard, and that's why this show is going to be talking about how to buy a Bitcoin. Now, you're going to want to buy a Bitcoin off Coinbase, off the Cash App. Me personally, I would suggest buy it off Cash App. It's the cheapest way to buy a Bitcoin. Just sign up for Cash App and say you transfer some money in your Cash App account, and you could just buy your Bitcoin. Now you have a Bitcoin.
So you're going to do the Peanuts show, right? Peanuts and Lucy show. You know, in the Peanuts cartoons, Alex, Peanuts he sets up the football to kick it, and a certain and to play the game. You're trying to set the football up to play the Bitcoin game, and Lucy comes on and kicks it before he can, and he falls on his ass. That's exactly what's going on with Bitcoin. The people that got in and hoped to go to 50,000 per coin. Well, how high did it get before
60 something thousand.
$60,000? And what has it fallen to at this moment?
I believe we're at 42. I'll get the exact number, but it's a good number to buy in. CoinMarketCap.com, by the way, CoinMarketCap.com is where you want to see all your cryptocurrency information. It's basically like the Wall Street ticker, but it's a cryptocurrency.
What's the value of a Bitcoin now?
$40,000, which is really bad, but it's good for the person who wants to buy in. For the person who has not bought in yet.
Everybody's not a sucker, Alex.
A sucker for what?
Everybody's not going to buy that sucker stuff. That's sucker stuff when you talk like that. Here you got a fall of what? 40% of the value? Jesus. What are you talking about here? How you can buy into it? You know, you buy into something that's going up, and you're trying to buy into it as it's going down. How far down will it go, Alex?
That is your advice. Warren Buffett's advice.
No. Buffett doesn't touch this stuff.
I'm a Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger type of guy. I'm more conservative. I'm a wild west investor. I will invest into crazy stuff.
So you're reckless.
But I do it Warren Buffett style, Charlie Munger style.
What's that supposed to mean?
You buy when it's hurting, not when it's doing good. Because
so you don't think it's going to go any lower?
If I'm day trading, I'm buying when it's doing good. I'm not buying when it's doing bad. But I'm not. I'm going long term here. I'm planning my money tree. I'm planning it right now. So I'm going to buy 40,000.
Yeah, you keep saying why you're right. You're telling me why you're right. Why Alex knows what he's doing. Now, when we talked about Bitcoin just a few days ago, a week or so ago, it was at $50,000 or $60,000, and it's starting up. Yeah, and now it's dropped to 40 something. So you think it's going to scoot up to 45, and the people are going to jump all over it because it might go up higher? What's it going to do? What is Bitcoin going to do, Alex?
The thing is, Bitcoin has to go a certain amount. It's set up systematic.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So it halves. The thing called halves.
What's the system?
It's like a money printer. This money printer will slow down every year to make the money that is printing. It controls the rare.
Who is the guru that's making that machine work?
Now, those are the people who are called miners. These miners are printing Bitcoins. And the thing is that they're printing the Bitcoins at a certain rate right now. So next year, they're only allowed to print it at a certain rate then. So now they're making half their money.
Who decides that?
Satoshi, the guy who invented Bitcoin.
I mean, the gamer.
The game changer.
No, the gamer.
No, the game changer.
The con artist.
That's what you say, but you would have put it.
All right, Alex, you answer these. These are hard questions. You're the expert. You should have no trouble with my questions. Now
I have no trouble. I like your questions, but can I tell you this? Now you can say Bitcoin's a con, right? But let's say you're an average individual. You put all your life savings at Bitcoin at 600 a coin. That's just 10 years after everybody, the world knew about it. This is 10 years after.
Your savings at $600 a coin. You're going to pour it in. Listen, when I first interviewed, I can't think of the guy's name, a friend of Henry Range, who had his own Bitcoin show. He came on. The guy came live on my morning show, The Edge, on the radio in Bradenton, and he said it was $200 and it was going to go through the moon and blah 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 blah, and it was farting around between $200 and $1,000 for the longest time. And then people got on board, and it's going to be a fortune. It got went jumping up to 6,000 a coin, then went to 10,000 a coin. Then it almost went, and it crashed after it went to 20, down to 10 again. And it's been doing this. And so the pump and dumpers, the Jamie Dimons of the world, have been playing with this coin to screw money out of Joe Blow. How you give Joe Blow a blowjob, you do it with Bitcoin. And this is how it happens. So there's no real honesty, but only this is a coin for suckers until they regulate it. And what's going to regulate Bitcoin is the carbon tax. And you have no say when that happens, because the carbon tax is something that's going to be part of the world frame on the weather. Anybody that's burning up too much energy is going to get hit with a carbon tax. That is how the regulation is going to come. And when that starts, now you have regulation. And blockchain technology is what Bitcoin's about. And the scam is, well, if you get into Bitcoin, you can take it out of the country, and the government can't take your taxes off of it. You keep it concealed. So you're doing tax evasion. And right now, the Biden administration is going to pump lawyers into the IRS, more employers, so that they can go after the $70 trillion offshore. That's coming. So you're looking at a situation when the people who are operating these big funds offshore want to continue to do business in this country are not going to be able to do it. They're going to have to pay the tax to come back in the country. Today, Biden got up on national TV and was congratulating Ford for the electric car. The only company in America that's has the whole fabrication or manufacturing chain. Anybody part of it has to have an American employee producing the Ford cars in America, nowhere else. So General Motors is still trying to make their cars in China and in Mexico, and they're going to get screwed. So they're going to get hit with a big capital gains tax to try to do business and sell it back here, and
Well,
that's coming.
let's talk about this. They're not the only one. It's a lie.
What's that?
If Joe Biden said they're the only one doing it, he's going to get fact checked.
What?
Lordstown, Ohio. I'm a big investor into that.
Into what?
Lordstown, Ohio.
What
Look
about
at
Lordstown? That's an auto making.
Like,
What
that's
about it?
That's where they're going to be pumping out all the electric trucks.
No, that may be, but the what he said today is an indicator of what's coming. What he said today is that you're not going to do business if you're not making it here at the same way you would. You're going to get taxed heavier if you're having the product made out of the country to come back in.
No. Correcting what you said. You said that Ford is the only company making electric vehicles in America. They're not. There are two other companies I can.
Oh no, but the biggest one who's doing it. Excuse me. I didn't mean that there's no one else. I meant that the primary one against General Motors or against Volkswagen, who's located now in Chattanooga, Tennessee. These other are large companies.
Tell me, man. You can say these companies. Well, see, I'm in the stock market, so I get offended when people say these companies are the ones doing it. No, they're not. Tesla's doing it. The number one. Number two will not.
China. Tesla is
not be Ford. Number two and number three will not be General Motors. It will not. They will not be the big EV producers. I'm sorry, they're so late to the game. It's sad. They're probably going to go away.
The country that's out producing America in electric vehicles is China right now.
Let it be. China has been doing this for a while. Just like China has so many incentives right now, so many grants for these electric car companies. It's sick. And
Grant.
that's wants right now is electric car companies' business in their country. It will happen.
You broke up. I can't hear you now.
Oh, well, I was saying how much China's doing incentives for their companies.
We're wandering around now. The main point we should be talking about, if Bitcoin is an investment, what makes something an investment? It's about, usually in terms of investment, you think of growth. Anytime you talk to people, well, the growth is this, that, and the other thing. Where's the growth in Bitcoin?
The ROI, return on investment, is the world's greatest ROI ever. There's no better ROI ever.
Something that's, you can't prove that.
History.
You're stating it. Alex can
This
say that. I can say something's great and it's the greatest. That's bullshit. That's
you can
just talk.
Google it. What has the greatest ROI
What's that mean?
and return on investment in the last 100 years, last 200 years, last time since Jesus? It will say Bitcoin.
Where'd you read that crap?
This is all. I mean, this is Google. I mean, you could Google it. This is what you put $1 in Bitcoin when it first started. Now you have a couple $1 billion. Nothing has ever done that before.
Yeah, like the tulip revolution. People need to remember this mania of the tulip. Same thing. It's just come back in a new way.
This is different because tulips don't really have use, and really tulips have nothing to do with money. Bitcoin.
No, Alex, this is exactly why you don't understand what I'm talking about. Why did people invest up to $500,000 at the time in our dollars today in a single tulip bulb? Very much like Bitcoin. $500,000 a tulip bulb. What's Bitcoin gone to? 50,000? That's about 1/9 of the cost of a tulip bulb at the time. Why did that change? Because they saw no real use. So Bitcoin's use to me is simply because it's part of blockchain technology. And the banks are going to blockchain technology big time. And they're accepting the Bitcoin as a changeable item, but they don't trust it. In fact, I think somebody just recently pulled away from doing exactly that because it's too much of a speculation. And it's a fake gain for a few people. The little guy gets screwed on this thing. You need to promote the investments for the little guy that's not going to leave him high and dry when the thing falls back to 10,000, which is going to happen. The minute the carbon tax comes on to Bitcoin makers, the miners, as you put it, the minute that happens, the production is going to fall, the value is going to get greater, and the production, instead of 21 million, is going to fall to like 5 million. So
it can't. Bitcoin is just a computer programmed. You can't fight.
What do you mean it can't? It can't. What do you mean it can't?
It prints at one rate only. Satoshi made it where it's Satoshi's way, or it doesn't exist.
No, it requires electricity to make the damn thing. Come on, does it or doesn't it require electricity?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you one thing.
No. Answer my question. Does it require electricity?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they don't have the electricity, can they make it? No.
No.
That's right. Not arguable.
Can you mine gold without electricity?
What's that?
Can you mine gold without electricity?
Yeah, people do it all the time by hand.
And what that will do to the market?
But that's how gold is mined. What are you talking about? Gold is mined all the time by hand, all in South Africa. Little boys digging in stream beds and pick up bullion all the time that way.
So we take away electricity, we take away from the mining of gold and mining of Bitcoin.
Electricity and gold have electricity. No, electricity and gold have nothing to do with each other. Nothing.
It just because it'll make it more difficult to mine gold, which makes the price of gold.
But they don't. It's not how you get gold.
Well, I know that. I know. I'm just giving an example.
Not an example.
Because gold and Bitcoin are almost the same.
So you're talking about what the value? I mean, gold is going for what, $1,800 an ounce. Platinum goes for $1,100 an ounce. What's more valuable than gold? Platinum, except that the demand is greater for gold because it's a speculation. But
Bitcoin is valuable than gold.
What's that?
Bitcoin is more valuable than gold. I'll give you one example, Augie. When I first met you, it was probably 4 years ago. Let's say you say, Alex, I'll give you a birthday present. Would you like one Bitcoin, or would you like 1 bar of gold? What would you like? I'll give it to you. It's no problem, right?
Well, if you want to give me a bar of gold, you know how many ounces a bar of gold is?
Like what, 1,000? What, 1,500?
It's about 30 ounces.
Let's.
That means it's $45,000.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
You go right ahead. In fact, depends on the size of the bars. But some bars are even more. They're a couple of kilos. They're 2 pounds. It's even more. If you have a 2 kilo bar, you're looking at a lot of money.
Well, yeah, I'm not getting an accurate.
They say it sells by the ounce.
Bar. But there's no way on this. Maybe there is. Maybe it's 600,000. But the point is, I would rather have a Bitcoin.
Sorry, I mean, you go right ahead and dream away. But the value of Bitcoin is really because of the blockchain technology. And the banks are all in on that, Alex. So they agree with you there on Bitcoin, only in terms of blockchain technology and the collection of data. So when they shut down the pipeline for the gas and the oil going from Houston all the way to wherever, they paid the bribe in Bitcoin because the people are offshore that were asking for the ransom, and they could transfer that to dollars without getting caught. That's what they pulled. So if you keep wandering around, I'm going to get seasick here looking at the picture. So where are you headed? I can't hear you now.
I'll just grab some pizza I ordered from outside. But the thing is, with Bitcoin is real. It will exist no matter what anybody.
Alex, and so is the Santa Claus.
No matter what nobody says, Bitcoin will be here, and it's all going to go up. It's systematically set up to be $1 million a coin.
Alex, Alex, you're a smart guy, but I really think this is not making you look terribly smart. As I cite facts, and you want to dance around on fantasy. I even concede with you that blockchain technology is what's going to keep Bitcoin in some kind of business, so to speak. But when people speculate, it's pump and dump. And Jamie Dimon said it. And I'm trying to think of the other billionaire recently said the same damn thing. This is young guys, not old guys. They're saying this. So it isn't just old farts like me that are saying this. They're saying this is a scam. That's all it is. And when the government decides to regulate it, and they're on the edge of doing it, they're going to do it with a carbon tax. That carbon tax is going to hit them. If you're going to produce a product that pollutes like Bitcoin does and uses up energy like Bitcoin does, it's going to be paying a price to make that stuff. That's going to happen. So it's not like gold at all. Gold is speculative to a small degree, but it isn't. It's not an item that replaces a fiat currency. But Bitcoin seemed to be doing that as an alternative for people who wanted to do drugs and do scamming. And the fact that the shutdown of the gasoline supply line all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast, and the payoff was a ransom of $5 million in Bitcoin. That was a payoff. So it was used. It's
worth it. It has value.
Yeah. For criminals, yeah.
No.
Oh, the guys that did the ransom were not criminals, huh?
Cash and gold bars used by criminals. Have you ever bought have you ever seen somebody on TV maybe buy drugs on cop show? They don't use Bitcoin. They use dollar bills.
They
I watch
use
cops all
dollar
the time.
bills, but the other one they trade in is diamonds. Diamonds are easy one to move around.
Unfortunately, it hurt.
But a lot of this stuff is going to come to a crashing halt because I do think that Biden's going to put an end to the drug war because it's jailing too many people for no good reason. It takes money out of them for law enforcement and wastes it and parks people in jails that are too costly and too damaging to the country. But if if Bitcoin's going to be a facility for educating people to use technology, I say more power to it.
It's
Until you can demonstrate that for Bitcoin, you got
Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an international currency.
no baloney. That's baloney. That's just baloney. The
It's
Chinese
what
do not.
stated.
The Chinese do not. They're looking to do what it could. They're coming up with their own currency as soon as they can to offset the dollar. The dollar is king, and it will remain that way. But I don't know why with your knowledge about you claim to be a good advisor for investment in the stock market. You brag about the value of being a day trader. Why do you not push those things there and make commentaries on the side about Bitcoin? Because to me, you can give a better service to people, and I think you've got enough of the understanding of the market to do that. I think that's more useful to people.
Well, we'll talk about that on their shows. We'll talk about that on their shows. But with this show, we needed two sides. We need people to hear the two sides of Bitcoin. Why they should.
Right now, I think
Because that's the best part of being an investor. You hear both sides. You don't hear.
I don't think I don't. I think a smart investor would not invest in Bitcoin right now. I think it's going to fall a lot more. I think it's going to make. Here's my prediction on Bitcoin. Okay.
Let's hear it. That's what I want.
Right now, how much is it at 40,000 right now?
Yes.
And what's the very lowest number that's had? Just 40 or 42 or what?
No, 40,000. That's the lowest number in the last couple weeks.
Okay.
Months.
So what's going to happen is going to fall down to about 38. It's going to really spook people. And then some people are going to bump it back up to 42. It's going to move 10%, 5%, 10% back and forth to trick people into getting back into it, to get it pumped and dumped. So to get it pumped up again, they'll try to get it to approach 45, 46. Oh, it's going to take off. It's going to go to 65. Oh, yeah. No. Sorry. Not going to happen.
Let's talk about who they're fooling here. They're fooling hedge funds. They're fooling companies.
No,
fooling
you're
Tesla.
telling me hedge funds are investing in Bitcoin?
What
hedge funds are investing in Bitcoin?
I'm not even talking about Millionaire Joe down the road either. I mean, Millionaire Joe, he's playing in it, but he's not moving the market. It's the companies now moving the market and the hedge funds in Bitcoin.
Yeah, that may be true. I'm not. But that's not nothing to do with Bitcoin.
Yes, it is, because MicroStrategy, for one, they put in all their extra money they have in the bank into Bitcoin. They convert all the extra money, over $1 billion, into Bitcoin. I mean, but if Amazon does it, oh my gosh, that would send a wave in the market like no other. Imagine Amazon put all their extra cash in the bank, or Apple, and convert it to Bitcoin.
You're totally right. They're manipulating the market. Yeah.
Everybody's doing it. Everybody's putting their money in the balance sheet, cash.
I read an editorial about why I mentioned the carbon tax.
Yeah.
That's what's going to spook the Bitcoin thing big time, and that's why it's dropping. If the carbon tax goes in on just against Bitcoin, which even the Republicans will go for that, then that's the end of the pump and dump with Bitcoin right there. Imagine you lose a carbon tax would go for like the same as a corporate tax, which is at 28%. a fourth of the value of the coin, a fourth of the value of the sale of the coin from 40,000, say it goes back up to 60,000. A fourth of the 60,000 is 15,000, comes right off the gain completely, and you have to pay the tax. And then you have to start revealing all of your involvement with that kind of speculation, and the government will step all over that. So I think Bitcoin's an interesting phenomena. It's a mania, just like the tulips.
The tulips is way, I promise everybody, but that's what Augie says for years.
Well, I think the people in Holland thought they had found the heart of gold in the tulip bulb. I mean, imagine Bitcoin going to $500,000 or close to it. That one tulip bulb sold for that much. That's 10 times the cost of one Bitcoin. That's how valuable they were. Now, if you were talking about tulip bulbs at the time for a 2-year period of that mania, and went up 10 times greater or 9 times greater than Bitcoin, what would you say? If Bitcoin approached $100,000 a coin, you'd be saying the same thing the tulip bulb growers were saying about the tulip.
No, because Toshi made it where it's going to be 100 grand a coin because it's printed.
Well, Alex, we beat that horse to death. I think the carbon tax is the thing that's going to be the fly in the ointment. I guarantee that one.
The carbon tax will hurt the market, but that's when people should buy in, like right now. The point is,
you can pay the tax even more.
A Bitcoin will be 100 grand a coin soon.
I think you're going to see it's a way to take a loss, that's for sure.
and then you've been saying that when it's $1,000 a coin.
Yeah, really. Dream on, Alex. Dream on. So I think
the moon.
We kind of beat this horse to death, Alex. So what else do you want to? What else do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the marvelous what's his name? Oh, Mr. Gates, not the Matt Gates of Florida, but Bill Gates.
Well, let's talk about that in the next show. Let me cut this show. Let's talk about that in the next show. Thanks for watching Bitcoin Radio, guys. Me and Augie, we're out of here.
Out of here. See you later.